When Hurricane Helene tore through Asheville, 3 women found themselves at the heart of their community's darkest hour.
Something that I remember is waiting at a stoplight on my way home and watching the water come in around my car. That was pretty terrifying. A few of us went up on the roof of our building, and that's really when we kind of got a glimpse of what the situation really was. The river was still rising, the road was blocked, the train was stalled on the tracks. There were things like dumpsters and pieces of buildings, tractor trailers. Everything was racing by and crashing into the bridge. It was really something.
I woke up at like 5 a.m. to a loud bang. It must have been a tree falling nearby, and I looked out the windows and just trees were just everywhere. It was absolutely terrifying.
The days following the flood, we did not receive outside aid for the first 5 days. We had to kind of dig ourselves out and find a way to bring aid in. Those 5 days I spent digging through rubble and finding drinkable water.
Though each facing their own heartbreak, these women found a way to show up. Their missions were different, but their hearts beat as one.
It is my duty to run elections. Come hell or high water, we make elections happen, and election officials anywhere will tell you that. So making sure that people could exercise their right to vote was a way to help people feel agency and feel heard, especially in a crisis. I didn't feel like evacuation was an option for me. I'm not going to say I wasn't afraid, but there was no way I was going to abandon ship.
I got a text message from one of the tenants who I organized with. They put this notice on our door. She sent me a picture of it that said, "Just a reminder, October rent is still due." I was livid because in that same text message she had said, we don't have any food, we don't have any water. And I was like, we have to do something. People cannot pay rent for October, especially right now, because all the jobs are gone.
I'm on this tiny little hill, which my basement flooded, but ultimately everything was okay. And so somebody dropped water off at the base of my driveway, and then somebody else wanted to drop off a little bit of food, and somebody else wanted to drop off a little bit of clothing, and I ended up getting some tarps out and going that direction. It just wasn't an option in my head. I had the resources, I knew what to do.
Corinne, Jen, and Katie rolled up their sleeves and reached out, helping in ways only they could.
Many people on my staff sent their families away to safer places because that's what they felt was needed, and they stayed behind to make sure that the election ran, because that is how important it is to them and how important they think it is to other people. We had people knocking on our doors shortly after, on their way out of evacuating, asking us would the election go on. And because of that dedication, that heart that my staff has, I could confidently tell them yes.
We got the forms from the Housing Authority and made copies and went with a team and knocked on every single door in every single housing property and gave people the hardship waivers.
And it just exploded into 3 event tents. One of them looks like a grocery store, the other one looks like a clothing department store, and then there's one for storage, and I had 2 storage units as well as my garage, serving a few hundred people.
Their efforts didn't just heal, they transformed lives and uncovered something extraordinary.
It really was important for me to find that community and to understand these systems, to realize that I have a voice and that I can use it. And so I've seen what happens with other people, especially since the storm, who have found their voice and have stood up for their community's needs. And they are just, it's life-changing.
We demonstrated that when it gets tough, we focus on supporting each other. And those differences in opinion and philosophy and political affiliation, they all fall away. None of that divisiveness matters. And we just come together, we make a plan, and we help each other. That is what we did. And we do that in every crisis. To me, that's really the spirit of